And in today's Tuesday Crafternoon, I'd like to share with you how to make a simple stitched bookmark. Now this is going to be an in-person program in August, so you're welcome to sign up for that through the library calendar of events. But I thought I would just show you how to do this if you wanted to just come by and pick up the pattern and try it yourself. So what you're going to need is cardstock. What we're using in the program is actually pre-cut cardstock with this nice fancy edge on top. But I'm going to say this is about 2.5 inches by a little more than 6 inches. You'll want the pattern as well, and you're going to need, again, a beading awl and a piece of cardboard so that you can punch out the holes without damaging your tabletop. You will need 2 kinds of floss. Now in this I did blue and a light turquoise or almost sea green. But for the one I'm doing today, I'm going to do 2 shades of kind of a dusty lavender. You'll need needle and scissors, tape, because of course we are not making knots. We're just going to tape the ends down, and patience. So let's go ahead and get started. So to start with, I'm going to do one of these S curves. All of them are going to be exactly the same, so I will just show you one, but this is going to be an example of our reach stitch. So I start here at the very last hole here at the top, and what I want to do is then count around to where that goes across. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes. I need to reach 5 holes and take my needle down. And then with all of the reach stitches, you just advance 1 hole and then come back, reach back that same number. So reaching back 5 holes, advancing to the next one, reach forward, and you go back and forth to get this nice curve with a little bit of dimensionality to it. So I've got my floss threaded. I'm going to start here in this first hole on the S at the top. And I will tape down the end. Okay. Just unwinding my floss here. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. And pull through. And on the back, just move forward 1 hole. Come up. And then we reach back 5. Move forward 1. Go forward 5, and you see how this is going to gradually build up. It starts off just looking like you're making crisscrosses over and over, but with a little bit of time, the more stitches you put in, the more the curve of that S gets defined and bulked up a little, I guess you could say. Now here we're crossing back to where we first went in. So this is how it'll start to take shape. Now I will say that bookmarks are kind of a fun way to do some of this card stitching. They're a little bit easier because you usually have a smaller pattern and your piece of cardstock is smaller too. So it's a lot easier to flip back and forth from the front to the back. You get done a lot faster, which is kind of nice. And there are some really cool patterns out there to play with. I mean, This is one that I enjoy doing. I've come across a couple of floral ones as well that look really pretty. And then, of course, since it's a bookmark, you can always use it or give it to a friend, tuck it into a book you want to give them as a gift. Totally up to you. So you can see now how that curve is getting defined and then getting thickened up here in the middle. And the middle is going to be a little bit tricky because of the way the S curve obviously curves back. Let's get that tangle taken care of. Come on. There we go. Because now that we're going to start curving this way, the way the threads, the way the stitches lay around each other is going to end up being a little different. But we will do the best that we can. And you may have to kind of just brush these aside to see where your holes are. And here in the middle, now normally I would say kind of work it up around the edge of the last stitch, but because of this curve, we're just going to come up through the middle and make it work. It's not perfect, but it's still going to look really nice when we're done. All right, so here's the hole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And last hole, so last stitch. Okay, so I still have a nice length of floss left over. I'm going to go ahead and finish it off working on this next S, but I'll stop here, come back when we're ready to do the second color. So now what we're going to do with the lighter color is these little fan stitches in between the S curves. You can do this one of two ways. You can either start at the hole in the center and do stitches out to each hole, or start at the holes on the outside and work your way into the center. I kind of like doing that latter one because coming up from the same hole time after time after time, it gets a little difficult to come up through all that bulk of all those different flosses, layers of floss. So if you start here at this top outside hole, work your way in, and then come back and forth, you're going to have an easier time going through this hole with all the different layers, and it sets you up a little better to jump to the other side, go to the top outside hole, and do the same thing there in reverse. So I will go ahead and start here. And tape down the end. And just straight stitch into the center. Come back out to the next hole on the outside, into the center. Next hole, center, and you just keep on going. It's pretty easy. This is one of those stitching patterns that is fairly easy and quick to do. So it's almost like a nice little meditation session, if you want to think of it that way. Because once you figure out the pattern and just get into that groove, I mean, you can see here how quickly we've gotten that one done. And now I can jump to the other side. And then it's really satisfying after all that you have something useful made. Sorry about that. It's looking like my thread wants to pull out, so I want to protect that before I do this last stitch. All right, so that finishes up that first set of fans. I'll go ahead and just tape the end down. And trim the thread. So I'm not going to go ahead and finish the rest of this because you can see it's the same thing over and over again. But what you can do when you're done with all of your stitching, since you do have a bit of a mess here on the back, you can take a piece of a different kind of paper or cardstock and just glue it to the back here to hide all your stitching so it doesn't get tangled or you don't have to even look at it. But that's all there is to it. Like I said, this will be an in-person program in August, so if you're interested in that, you can sign up for it now on the library calendar of events, or sometime in August, I will have the pattern available at the reference desk if you just want to copy that and do it at home. Totally up to you. In the meantime, I hope you will stay healthy, be kind, and get creative. Bye-bye.